Saturday's class, there was me and 2 other black belts and a couple brown belts, and we were teaching class. And as I was walking around, I noticed there was a white belt who's maybe been to, 10 classes. He's been training for about a month, maybe 2. But like he was holding his own little seminar, teaching jiu-jitsu. And I thought, oh, how cute. And then of course, I stopped him. I'm like, white belts are not here to teach. White belts are here to learn. And I went on with the class, and then somebody asked me afterwards why I always say white belts are not here to teach, they're only here to learn. I thought it was obvious, but maybe it's not. And so I figured I'd create this video and make that the question of the week. So the deal is in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, on average, takes approximately 10 to 12 years. Some people longer, some people shorter, but on average, 10 to 12 years. So it's thousands of hours of training to achieve your black belt. Brown belts, usually anywhere from 6 to 9 years on average. Some longer, some shorter, but a lot of training, thousands of hours to become brown belts. Where white belts, they just don't know anything. They're learning, they're picking stuff up, but and they think, oh, I got it. It's like, no, you ain't quite got it yet. So the problem with white belts trying to teach is because you're still learning, there's a good chance that you're going to teach it wrong because there's something that you're not getting right. You think you're getting it right, maybe you're getting it 80% right, but now you're going to teach it 80% right. And that could be a problem because so much in jiu-jitsu is just memorization. It's what we often term as muscle memory. So many techniques that I do, whether, like in the heat of the moment, it's just muscle memory. Like when I was sparring on the mat Saturday, it was just muscle memory. I wasn't sitting there thinking like, oh, let me go through my Rolodex of moves and think about step 1, 2, 3, and 4 of this particular move and how to do it. It was just like, no, I'm in this position. I'm going to do this escape. And then I just did the escape. Same thing with the submissions. I'm not thinking of step 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's muscle memory. It's like, oh, I'm going to armbar you. And then I just armbar you. I don't think of like step 1, trap the arm. Step 2, put your foot on the hip. Step 3, change the angle. I'm not thinking of those steps. So the problem is if you learn techniques incorrect and then you train them incorrect, it becomes part of your muscle memory. And it's so hard to unlearn something that you've learned incorrectly that's been committed to memory. So for example, times tables. Like I'm 55 years old. I think last time I studied times tables, my multiplication tables was, grade school. But if you said, well, hey, what's 6 times 3? I'd say, well, it's 18. What about, 7 times 6? That's 42. What about, 2 times 9? Oh, that's 18. And I say those answers, and man, I'm pretty confident. I didn't have to, check it. But I say those answers because it's just been committed to memory. I haven't studied it in, 40-some years, Like, it's just, I just know these answers. I'm not doing it, I'm not adding it up. It's like, it's 5 times 4, let me count. It's like, no, I just know it. But, if I had committed to memory, let's say 4 times 5 as 22, if that's the way I had committed it to memory, and kept it in memory for all those years. And then somebody points out, no, 4 times 5 is 20. How hard would it be for me to unlearn the incorrect times table answer? And the answer is it'd be very hard. So you don't want to, it's very important for white belts to learn the technique correctly from the beginning and then be able to commit that to muscle memory and it not be wrong. So if another white belt is teaching you how to do it, despite their good intentions, despite how they think they perhaps understand the technique, there's a good chance they're going to mislead you and teach it, maybe 80% correct, maybe 70% correct. Who knows? And you end up down the wrong path. And it's really hard to unlearn bad habits. So that's why we say, hey, white belts are just here to learn, not here to teach. And I know in society, we've gotten to where everybody's like, oh, think outside the box, and like everybody has an opinion and everybody's opinion's valuable. And that's great if you want to live your life that way. In Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, we focus on the experts. Their opinions on how the technique should be done is where we're going to stick with, not a philosophical white belt who thinks, I think I understand it just as well as the black belt. Well, I think you probably don't. So, and it's just like if we're in a room of 30 people and I'm having a heart attack, and 29 of the people in the room are some of the best in their field of mathematics, social science, physics, but one of them is a cardiologist. I'm not interested, as I'm having this heart attack, of having a consensus amongst the 30 of them of the right way to do it. Matter of fact, I'm not interested in anybody's opinion in that room, no matter how bright they are, of how to treat my heart attack other than the cardiologist. So that's my analogy for this week. And when you get old, you get analogies. This YouTube video, I tell my stories and give my analogies. It humors me. I hope it humors you too. If you got a question for next week, feel free to fire below, and I look forward to answering it. And if you got any comments, absolutely feel free to fire below. And by all means, if you disagree with me and you think white belts should be holding their own little seminars, teaching, you can share that below too, and it'll bring a smile to my face. All right. Thank you guys so much. Hope everybody has a happy Labor Day. Unless you ain't got a job, then Labor Day is not your holiday. Okay, I got dad jokes. Ciao.